Welcome to this special edition of OBL because my life's chaos, Brandy's life's chaos, and all our lives are just a mess. But this is the one day we have that are free. How are you doing, Brandi?
Surviving. I always say that. I feel like I always say surviving, but that's just the truth.
It really, honestly, it is. I swear, it's life.
Yeah.
I'm looking ahead to this week's forecast. We could have a tornado outbreak followed by snow in my area, so it's like, as long as I live, I'm happy.
So, what's going on? Because I could have swore, we were in spring. I'm very confused.
For some reason, Mother Nature doesn't know what the heck she's doing. And that's been the case here for a while.
Well, she needs to get her life together.
Well, I'll tell you who knows what's going on. Avatar. Because they have another banger episode this week.
You know, I was rewatching in preparation, and I was like, man, this episode's so good.
Exactly. Like, I never used to rewatch it, religiously, but now I think I'm going to because I just love it. It is so, there's so much. But yes, we are here to talk about all that much happening. And yeah, we have Bree who said we had snow flurries today and it's going to be 70 tomorrow. Fun.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know how many times I've put up my winter coat only to get it back out.
Exactly. Mother Nature is just but we're hoping for some summer-like conditions here soon because, who doesn't want summer with that humidity and mugginess of a swamp? Tie-ins. But yes, as always, kicking off the episode, talking about how bad descriptions are on Netflix. And this one, I don't know if they went in after seeing our show, which I doubt they even did. But the descriptions for the beginning of season 2 are pretty short. The one for the swamp is, when the kids end up in a mysterious and strange swamp, their fears are exposed. Not bad by itself, but we need more.
Is it really their fears that get exposed, though?
No, it's the people they've loved, the people they've lost, and people they're yet to meet. I don't think they'd be afraid of any of them.
I mean, I guess maybe they're trying to play up the horror aspect of the show, because I feel like this is the beginnings of kind of what the show does in terms of the horror realm. I'm looking at you.
True. You
season
get some
3.
creepy stuff. Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It gets there. It's mostly just the swamp monster that scares me.
I was always intrigued. I'm just always intrigued by these things.
Really?
I'm like, is it a spirit? Is it something else? Is this just a creature that we haven't seen in the world?
I think of it as a spaghetti monster because my mom used to cut up spaghetti. And I thought that's exactly what this scene embodies, just slicing up the spaghetti. So that was the terrifying aspect made for us. Oh goodness. But Brandi, you always come with better descriptions.
Okay. All right. Here we go. After crash landing in a swamp, the gang experienced mysterious visions and strange attacks from the swamp itself. Appa and Momo struggle to find the others while being hunted.
Ooh, see, that's a good description. It tells you what's happening without giving it away. I love it. Always coming through for us, Brandi.
Hey, you know what? I try over here. Not hard, but I try.
It's not like you have to. It's a very low bar to set. It is what it is. But I'm trying to find, there it is, my favorite part of the episode, which pops up very early on, if I do say. And that is, drumroll please, it's a tornado.
Oh, look at the... What do you think's going through Appa's mind right now?
What the crap is this? Because, in the storm, he's probably having flashbacks from that, but I don't know if Appa's ever seen a tornado. Because the climate around the Air Nomad temples is arid, mountainous region. So they wouldn't necessarily have tornadoes.
Yeah, but like Appa's a world traveler. He's
Fair point.
He's been around the block.
I think he's freaking out. Bree says, my 2022 temperature blanket is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be crazy. And the move guitar is using in that GIF was always my favorite fighting ability. It's a fighting ability?
Yeah, so in the game for the 360, there's like... Ooh. It's not necessarily like a fighting ability, but the way that you defeat that boss is like going to like a specific area and like button smashing, and then that's how you kind of like cut the monster.
Nice.
So that's what she's talking about. Yeah, so like the 360, or at least the second video game for Avatar, closely goes along with each episode in season 2. So like you have you start in the very first episode, like the Avatar state, and then you go to Omashu, and then you go to the swamp, and then I think you go to the village where you find Toph, and then I think you do bitter work.
Wow.
And then it just like jumps to a bossing say. But
okay. Touching the highlights.
Yeah. Oh no. You do the library. I forgot running away from Wan Xingtong. Yeah, you do the library.
Good to know. Also, hi Rapunzel. Oh goodness. But yes, this episode starts out strong for me. Talking about tornadoes and swamps and the fact that you can have swamps make tornadoes, it kind of makes me happy from a meteorology standpoint. But that's just me. And this, honestly, it does start out. It starts out with creepy vibes. So you get that weird music that's just kind of like tinkling in the back of your brain, and then Aang's like, "We're going down." Sok's like, "Why are we going down?" I don't know. The swamp was calling to me. Just,
unsettled. So, I mean, this is kind of jumping ahead in the episode, but do you think that the tornado was brought on by like a spirit? Or like, what do you think causes this tornado to even make them like land in the swamp?
Part of me wants to be the meteorologist and say, "Oh well, I mean, it's a humid climate; they could naturally have tornadoes." I think the swamp totally did. Like the swamp to me is a spirit, and it can control weird stuff. So I'm going with the swamp was the reason why.
Okay, all right.
And see, Rapunzel does say we have tornadoes in the swamp all the time, as evidenced by the past several weeks. I'm glad you're still alive, Rapunzel, because there's been a lot of tornadoes where you are. And there's gonna be more here this week, so it's just chaos.
No.
Yep. Honestly, Mother Nature's trying to destroy a lot of stuff here this week. And she's gonna get close to it too.
I want to know what we've done to upset her. Like, what have we done?
I think just existing.
Well, I'm sorry for existing, okay?
Yep. Honestly, it is what it is. Mother Nature just hates us. A lot of chat going on. Brandi, you should do a Let's Play for the Avatar games. Oh, that would be cool.
That would be fun. I'll have to fire up
computer has the capability.
The original Xbox.
Yes. Temperature blanket is all one color. 72 degrees. Yes, a spirit tornado, otherwise known as me after I pass. I will come back as a happy tornado.
She's not going to come back as a ghost, guys. She's just going to come back as a tornado.
Just roaming around the plains. Yes. Randomly throwing poor animals into trees. Okay, the reason I show this one is because, where did it go? There it is. My desktop is a mess. If I can zoom in even more. Oh, crud. There we go. Look at the bags under Appa's eyes. He's so over this. Like, he's just like, listen, kill me now.
Appa is me, I want to say 40% of the day. I'm over it 40% of the day.
It's so true. He's just like, come on. And Momo's just like chilling up there like, oh, I'm good. You good, man? He's like, just shut your mouth.
He's like, contrary to popular belief, this is not comfortable.
I love that screenshot so much. Because it's so relatable. Man alive. But you know what? They are the only ones stuck in the swamp. We also get some amazing character building moments. With, honestly, I think probably the main 3 things that stick out in my mind in this episode are Katara, Sokka, and Aang all seeing these visions and just being wrecked.
I think this is like really the first like really not overly emotional, but just like really strong emotions that Katara has shared with the death of her mother. Like she talks about it a lot and stuff like that, but like this is like I think where you first really like start to think like, oh my gosh, like this is just trauma that she's constantly carrying around with her.
Exactly. It's one of those things where you make it or you watch it and you realize, okay, this isn't just a kid's show, because kids might not be able to process, or understand, okay, well, oh yeah, she's sad because her mom's gone, but like as an adult, you pick up that emotional damage that every adult has, and you can relate even more the older you get. So I think this would be a good episode to show an adult who wants to get into Avatar, partially just because it shows the emotional side of things and it's very relatable.
Perhaps. I think, like, thinking back to when I first watched the episode when it was airing, I remember like her being like, "Mom, is that you?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like she's gonna get to talk to her mom." Like I didn't think that it was her, like I didn't think it was actually her mom, like, but I thought for sure that it was some type of spiritual or something or other, and like her mom was gonna come back and like there was just gonna be like this little thing and it was just gonna be so cute, and no, it's just a stump.
The stupid stump. It's like the swamp's giving her the middle finger. Just like, come on.
Pretty much. My gosh.
Oh, it's so sad. Oh, and I would totally haunt Michigan. I would haunt the shores of Michigan.
The shores of Michigan.
It'd be fun. I'm an American Chillers fan and a Michigan Chillers fan, so I feel like that could be a book. Just Tornadoes of Traverse City or something like that. Oh, and you know how to spell. Yes. Oh, man. So we talked about the Katara emotional damage. How about we talk about the boys for a moment? Because poor Sokka, like, this is still new. Like, Katara's had years to process the mother's death. This is fresh trauma.
And this is also, again, I think the first time where you really get to see that Sokka almost kind of blames himself for what happened to Yue. Even though, it was 100% Zhao's fault. He was just like, I kind of failed protecting her and stuff like that, and that's some strong emotions right there.
100%. And you get to see like just his posture. This is where the animation really comes in. He's been on edge in this swamp. He's been slicing through everything and just like, let's get out of here. And kind of like me at most work events. But
just me at the grocery store. My gosh.
True. Oh, humans, am I right? But you can see he's relaxed. He's almost, kind of like a child looking up, like, what? And it's those small little details that add so much to the show. That's rough, buddy.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh man, but I just the ways that, like, because they could have done Sokka with his mom, because he remembers his mom more than Katara. But no, they went with different trauma.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as like Sokka and his mom, like, yeah, I think that he has emotions about her passing, but I don't think they're as strong as Katara. And plus, a lot of what Sokka's character is about protecting people and protecting the people that he cares about. And so seeing Yue really does just kind of show what Sokka's all about, because he wants to he not only protect Aang, but protect Katara, and then later on we'll see that he's protective of Toph and everybody. So he's really just kind of like, that big brother to everyone. And so Yue popping up, I think, makes a lot more sense, because even though he didn't fail Yue, and I don't think Yue sees that he failed her, he definitely sees it, and it's kind of like something that he has to get past and develop, and
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but Rapunzel's right. Yue's actually a spirit now, so he has no way of knowing that this is just the swamp acting up. Like, Katara is pretty obvious, like, that swamp gas. This is, like, she talks to him. It would be heartbreak.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and from like a story standpoint, like you're watching this, so like obviously Katara's mom was actually just that tree stump. But like when you're watching this, you can kind of like come back and be like, well, Yue really is a spirit. That might actually be her. So it kind of like develops more of the mystery in the episode of like what is really going on. Is Yue real? Katara's mom wasn't real. You know, I think it kind of just adds that extra level of
exactly. Oh, just beautiful storytelling.
As always.
And then we get to the portion where it's like, oh, you got off really easy, and that's Aang. Because all he saw was a girl and her boar. And no emotional baggage along with it.
Okay. So, can you imagine Aang just walking around, and then there's just thousands of air nomads? Like
no! No! Brandi, no!
That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand why they didn't do that, because this is really what, you know, they needed some way to like get to Toph. But
no, Brandi. No.
Like, can you imagine?
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a tear in my eye. That would have been.
I'm so sorry.
I think Aang would have just dropped dead right then. He's like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with this. Oh my gosh, that's gotta be fan art. That's gotta be fan art. We're gonna do Aang and the Air Nomads. A nice band name. In the swamp.
But I mean, given what Katara and Sokka saw, is that not what he maybe? Again, like, I'm not trying to rewrite this episode. This episode is good. I'm not trying to change it. I'm just asking.
Just like in an alternate timeline.
Yeah. Like, if they had showed up, if the swamp happens after they meet Toph. Okay, well, let's go through this exercise. If they show up into the swamp with Toph, and like they all get, can you just imagine Toph in the swamp?
Toph would be she would just be wrecking it. The swamp would be like, what can we traumatize her with? And it'd be like, no, we can't.
Toph would be battling the seaweed monster for the entire episode while everybody else is going on these emotional journeys.
It works.
Toph would almost have to be with Appa and Momo.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Oh my, I want that now. I want a fanfic that's like a what if situation. Oh my gosh. Well, and Bree going back says, for her personally, since Katara's mom wasn't real, you always thought that Yue wasn't real. Ooh.
No, I would say that Yue isn't real in this instance. But I'm saying, like, if while you're watching it for maybe the first time, or I mean, even right now, we could debate whether or not Yue is real or not. But like, since Yue is a spirit, her coming back makes complete sense, you know? So
it might even, like, you could kill two birds with one stone and just switch when they meet each other. Like, Katara could be after Sokka in that episode's progression, so then it really messes with you.
Yeah, but I don't think Yue is real. Like, because again, I don't think Yue blames Sokka for what happened.
Yeah, like, she chose to do that. That's on her.
Yeah.
Oh, and apparently, according to Rapunzel, the stump, I love that it's just going to be the stump, that Katara thinks is her mom is based on the cypress tree knees that grow in the swamp.
I knew that that's what it was, and I know that there's like an actual name for it, but I am not intelligent enough, so it is now the stump.
The stump. I love it. And my name's Toph, because it sounds like tough. It would be so perfect for the swamp. She'd just be the badass.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, no, this part actually as a kid confused me, because I didn't know what they were doing, like, or where they were going. I was just like, oh crap, there's actually another little kid. Is she causing all this chaos? And now I'm like, that's just Toph. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it is a really good tie-in. The more I think about it, having to wait because next after this is Avatar Day, and you don't get any answers from this episode
Nope.
of Avatar Day.
Nope.
So
Nope.
you're just left
They're
thinking
like, oh, we need one more filler episode. We got it.
Oh, and what a filler it is! Unfried dough. I want to have that as a snack for the next OBL in a month.
Well, let's see here. Avatar Day is actually April 28th, so that's when the episode aired.
Wait a second. So what day is April 20th?
Yeah.
That's a Thursday.
That's a Thursday.
That's possible. I'll be back from Comic-Con.
Nice.
Okay, we'll do. Yeah. We'll put a little tentative little smiley face on the calendar there. Ooh. Yes, because chaotic schedules and all, planning ahead perfectly works out well for us.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen our track record?
I have, and it's kind of pathetic.
That it is. We try not to think about it too much.
Putting April 28th in your calendar now. Nice. You guys got to do Avatar Day on Avatar Day. All right. The crowd of two has spoken.
Okay. All right. We'll try. We're going to do our best.
We'll do our best. And you know who's doing their best? Freaking Iroh. He's just trying to get them food and be a good uncle. And Zuko's being a little brat.
What? He's just being his moody self.
And something to point out here. You notice that little mask on the card?
Listen, this is what we in the biz call foreshadowing.
Yes! It's so... I never, until I was going through the screen grabs for this, never
really
noticed that card.
Ooh, it's so interesting.
Never.
No, so I don't think I noticed it like the first time that I watched it, but I was aware that like this was in the episode, and when I was watching the rewatch like last week or something, I was like, ooh, so good. There it is.
Oh,
and then like watching the episode, it like hit me, and I was like, that was some really good foreshadowing on their part. So simple. Mm-hmm. If you blink, you miss it. But I mean,
oh my gosh. And you know what? I'm just grateful they went with this design and not these two, because this one, I don't know, this one kind of looks like notice me, senpai. And this one's just like meh. This one has mystery to it.
The red one kind of looks like an Autobot.
Yes!
Yeah.
It totally does. Zuko isn't being a little brat, he's being a little shit, which is rung above little brat. Yeah. He really is. This is my least favorite of the Zukos, is season 2 Zuko.
I mean, this Zuko is going through a lot, like everybody else in the episode.
Yeah.
But like, I think that we really needed to see Zuko at this point, because it's really where he starts his own kind of journey. So I don't mind Zuko at this stage. Like,
It's necessary, but I still don't like it because he is being a little shit.
Yeah.
You were about to type that, Brandi. The red one totally looks like a Japanese mech.
Yeah, really do.
Nice. And then this one almost looks like a kite. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen kites like that in the store. And it has a mustache.
I mean, I think that can just be a Decepticon. We have an Autobot and a Decepticon.
Yeah. There you go. But bless Iroh. He's doing his best. He's pulling his weight. He's dislocating his jaw singing. Like,
hey.
Man's trying.
I mean, I really have nothing to say about this. Yeah, this is like, moving on.
Yep, moving on. We literally, I mean, I have so many screenshots. There we go. We see the progression here of basically Zuko reaching the last straw. Mm-hmm. He was fine just roaming the countryside. He was going to be grumpy about it. But then this dude comes along and he's like, swords. And he's like, I'm going to kill you. And then he just kind of goes off the rails. But in a gentle way.
I think right there he was legit about to like give this guy a matching scar. Like,
yeah. Oh gosh, yeah.
And then he really thought about it, and he was like, there's 2 of us. There's probably some Earth Kingdom soldiers nearby. There could even be some Fire Nation soldiers nearby. You know, and he was like, is it worth it? Nah. But Zuko really does get the last laugh.
Yes, and I would also like to point out, I think the ostrich horse is enjoying it.
The ostrich horse is enjoying taking a nap. That's what, yeah.
It's so, yeah. No, it shows you, if you think about it, because this scene goes by pretty quickly, but,
Mhm.
you know, he does think through things in a sense, and then you see him lose that train of thought when rage takes over in Zuko alone. So it's such an intricate web for these early episodes that I never picked up on as a kid. Everything's interrelated.
Yeah, it really is. And like, again, like, even like, this is just a short scene at the beginning, and then there's a shorter scene at the end, and like, it's really concise. Like, I don't think that you miss anything. Like, no more needed to be said with Zuko's arc right now, because it's just like, he's kind of rock bottom. He still is very caring for Iroh, and you know, I think in Zuko's head, they're still royalty, and like, they shouldn't be treated like this. And like, if they only knew who they were, then you know, they wouldn't be doing this.
You
But
know who I am.
Yeah, kind of like that. And so I think that that's really what Zuko is trying to get over right now.
And then Zuko is just like, I think it'd be better if we traveled alone. And Iroh respects that.
That's not in this episode.
Is it?
No.
Well, okay, spoilers. Sorry, bye. Let's skip ahead.
That should be next episode, or maybe even in the Blind Bandit.
And
no. So in this episode, we only see them like collecting coins at the beginning, and then at the end, we see Zuko attack that guy that was like humiliating Iroh in the Blue Spirit mask, and then he takes his broadswords back, and it's like the return of the Blue Spirit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I was confused why you were showing the teapot and everything, but I was like, maybe I don't know where she's going with this.
I'm yeah. Katie's struggling tonight, or this afternoon. But before we actually skip ahead, we have some fan art or just plain old art from Rapunzel. Boom. That's the grandpa's knee man figure carved from a cypress knees. Also, is that you, Rapunzel? Either way, that's really cool.
I was very confused what was happening, but I have caught up with the group.
There you go. Yeah. Well, you got all you need to know is Louisiana crawfish and knee stumps.
Yeah.
But okay, honestly, It'd be even more creepy if like all of a sudden you just had a forest full of these, like perfectly strategically placed in a grove. I would panic if I saw that.
I think that needs to happen. Yeah.
You still have the stumps?
Somebody just needs to go out into the swamp, carve a bunch of faces, and just leave.
That's a cousin from a long time ago. I hope you still have some of those stumps. Those are pretty cool. That would be perfect for Halloween. There we go. Okay, now we're back on track. So we've covered Zuko and Iroh to various extents for various episodes. And now we're back to the swamp. Because we get the main, I guess, villain in the episode, if you will, the main baddie. When it first appears, you're like, oh, this is the boss. This is who they have to beat to get out of the swamp.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Without knowing the context of it, of course. What do you think of this as like as a opponent? That's the word.
I think that it happens too fast within the episode to even really like form much of an opinion, because you're just like, okay, they're fighting this guy, and then like, oh, somebody's inside, and you're like, somebody's inside. Yeah, so again, like, I think at this point, you know, you could be like, is it a spirit? Is it a monster?
See,
because at this point, like, and then I guess spoiler alert for the episode, but I don't really think anybody cares. At this point, you do not think that it's a fellow waterbender.
Yeah, no.
You're like, it's not a waterbender. They're in the Earth. You really have no idea what's going on.
seriously, I thought it was a spirit as a kid.
Yeah.
Because it has the little kabuki mask sort of thing going on.
Yeah.
And it just overall it has a very spirit design. No natural thing is that large really that we've seen. And I
think Appa's bigger, but oh no.
I hit my elbow.
I'll hit my elbow in solidarity.
oh, thank you. But yeah, no, the swamp monster, I think, genuinely could have been a spirit, but I'm glad they went with the waterbender kind of way to it, because it's cool. I like it a lot.
Well, and I think that it kind of just adds to the mystery of the episode, because at the end they're like, so how did you make that tornado that, you know, made them crash land into the swamp? Yes. And Hugh is just like, I just been the water in the vines.
That's a
and you're like,
good accent.
You're like, oh, okay, we don't know what's happening.
All of a sudden, that creepy feeling that something's watching me is back. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, it also adds, having it be a waterbender and not a spirit adds to the whole waterbender versus waterbender thing.
Yeah.
And just the reveal that, oh, wait, you don't just have to be a water tribe person from the North or South Poles to be a waterbender. And honestly, as a kid, that made me think, oh, wait, well, then are there different air nomads who didn't live in mountains? Like, could you just have someone manifest an airbending, not quirk, because that's My Hero Academia, but like an airbending power, you know? And Rapunzel says, Katara's windmilling, then fighting looks like very similar to Swamp Bender's bending when chasing Appa. True. And I'm going to try and find, where did it go? I have so many screenshots saved today. It's a mess. A complete mess. Well, I don't have one of them on the boats, but I do have one of them just kind of standing there, looking fabulous. But yeah, it is cool because he has really long windmill arms. And when he starts that boat thing, when they're like, okay, go get him, and you get the boom, bitty boom, bitty boom, bitty boom kind of music.
That was spot on.
Thank you. Yes, I did take music for 8 years. I should know.
Wow, what a flex. She's so humble, guys.
Completely, yeah. No, I spent 4 of those years scrolling baton, but I still listen to the music. It's bad. But no, I love that comparison. That is a good point, Rapunzel. And also, these two are just fabulous character design.
I love them very much. Listen, I don't know what it is, but if you have somebody from the South who just 100% is just in their element like this as a character, they're gonna be my favorite. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're just
it doesn't matter if they're from the swamp. They're like a mountain person. I'm like, I like you.
You're comfortable with who you are. Do and so. Yes. I always forget their names.
Yeah.
I just know I'm a Swamp Dude 1 and 2.
I mean, it really could have been.
I just also one thing with this. Again, I don't know why I'm obsessed with. It won't let me. Fine. I don't know why I'm obsessed with the animation. He kind of has a little bit of a lazy eye there going on. The little details they give these characters makes me so happy. So stinking happy. And also the obligatory nipple.
I don't know why I didn't see that coming. I should have saw that coming.
You should have.
You always get me with that one.
Always gotta get that on. But also, one thing that's really cool. The hats serve a purpose. Ooh. That's my thing with animation. Everything in this show seems to serve a purpose. And those hats aren't just leaf hats because, oh, funny swamp people. No, it's perfectly designed to keep the rain off of their heads and slope it away from their bodies.
Or just onto their shoulders.
Or onto their shoulders because they don't care. But it's just so cool. I love it. I love it. And then also, oh yeah, that lovely screenshot.
So I think that this is really cute because like in Momo's line of thinking, he's like, okay, Aang blows this whistle and Appa comes. So if I blow this whistle, Aang will come. And I just think it's so cute. And Appa's like, that's not how this works.
how any of this works. Those poor animals. Oh, and Rapunzel brings up a good point. Finally figured out they're based on the Vietnamese in Louisiana. We have a huge Vietnamese population in the swamps.
Cool.
That is awesome. No, because it does include, Avatar is very Eastern Asia design, but it's made in America. So combining the two, that's actually really cool to see. Oh, and there's a fair bit written on it's showing similarities between two populations. Very cool. Now, I want to know where to go. I know it's here. There it is. This thing. It actually, because Rapunzel, take a good look at it because I'm going to have to switch screens, sent a picture on Twitter. Tell me that isn't.
That is exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what that is.
What? Slim is real? What is this? That just looks like a salamander that is way overgrown. I freaking love it. But yeah, he's real. Fun fact. You can go get yourself a Slim.
I mean, I didn't really want a Slim, but that's exactly what that was.
Yeah, I've always wanted an axolotl, so, that's fairly close. It's just not pink. I'd take it.
I want to know what it is now.
Maybe it's someone really good with
I'm sure
silicone. They just made it for fun. I'm sure
that's what it is.
I
just want to know more about the photo.
Because it's pretty stinking accurate.
I mean, that's cat gator.
Yeah, but it looks. If you add a couple of little bumps on its back and some teeth, that's Slim.
I also really love at the end when Sokka tosses a bug to it, and Slim is like, and the guy's like, Slim don't eat bugs. That's people food. I'm just like, I love it so much.
And it is right after all these emotional scenes and things. I'm just like, this is a fever dream, isn't it?
It is, and I love it.
Oh my gosh. And this has been just as chaotic as the actual show. We completely skipped over the whole banyan tree sort of thing. There we go. Where they meet up with the dude in the swamp suit and he's like, "Oh yeah, this is a swamp. You can see people that you love, people you've lost." And they finally explain the whole, "Well, what have I seen? I saw a little girl and I didn't even know who she was." "Oh, maybe it's someone you've not met yet." It's like, it all ties together so beautifully and so quickly too. It doesn't lose your attention.
No, it's like, here's what's happening. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yep, next thing.
And I think that it was such an interesting way to pivot the story away from Boomy being Aang's earthbending master to where are we even going to start to find somebody else?
Exactly.
It was just like, you're gonna go find this person. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
Exactly. You switch missions really fast. And now it's not just oh, come on, I wanted it to be Boomy, because I honestly wanted it to be Boomy. But now you have that level of intrigue of, okay, it's not just meeting someone and then they're the teacher. It's a hunt, or not a hunt, a search to try to find who this is. And that did help with the transition and introduction of a new character. Because Toph is the only new main character other than Azula and, of course, Kylie and May, but core main character. They did a really good job of that.
I mean, if you can introduce characters in your second season and everybody loves them just as much as the main cast, that's just good storytelling. That's just good characters.
Oh, yeah. Well, you can look back at Avatar and you think she's been there the whole time, and she's actually only been there for 1.5 seasons.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, wait, what?
It felt like an eternity. And yeah, this episode, honestly, it could have been longer than 22 minutes. They could have benefited from that.
Maybe, but then you also run the risk of it just being too long and lagging a bit. But
where? Maybe it's in I have a different screenshot. Life is a mess, and I will find the answer here shortly when I can find Aang touching a tree stump. That's what I found it. You know what? There you are. Aang touching a tree stump. There's got to be a better way for me to click through these things. Ta-da! This was a cool aspect, for my opinion. And Shadowcat's here. Hi, Shadowcat.
Hello.
Yeah, this tying in the swamp and adding a spiritual element to it really solidified how creepy the swamp could be and how, it was messing with them.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just them hallucinating or swamp gas like Sokka was saying. Like, it was genuinely a spirit swamp. So cool.
So I was reading something and they say that this episode actually has a lot of animation errors, which I think is interesting. But
really?
on this one, so only the arrow on his hand is glowing and not the arrow on his head or anything like that.
Oh yeah, that is an error, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if it's an error or what, because like they really only glow. Like the reason why his tattoos glow is because the arrows are along the lines of like his
is it chi?
Yeah, something like that. And so like when he's in the avatar state, that's why they glow. And like, if all the other avatars had air bending tattoos, they would glow as well. And so is it really just like activating throughout his whole body, or is he really just like connecting through his hand? Because I always just thought like, I never thought that this was an animation error. I just thought that, he's just connecting spiritually, like, through that hand. Like, if he was to like lay off, like, maybe then he would glow, but it's just his hand. So I wanted to say chakra, but that didn't seem right. Thank you.
Chakra, chi, whatever it may be. But no, that does make sense. Like, it's not avatar state, because the avatar state fully takes over his body. It's more of a connector between the spirit and himself.
Yeah. So I don't know.
He's just channeling his spirit energy through that one hand. My Hero Academia style. It works.
But another animation error is when right when they've like captured Appa and they're like Thu and Do are coming up, and it's after they've captured Appa. So Appa's in a net and Momo is in that bag, and I think it's Do is like singing the song.
Oh yes.
And he has his hand over the boat and he's like patting a beat. Right before Aang comes in and like air blasts them, his arm that is hanging over the boat disappears, and so does Momo. So if you go back, you can see for a frame that he only has one arm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How do you mess that one up?
Yeah. So it's right there. So that hand that's sticking out of the boat that was like being the drum disappears, and then Momo disappears too.
Oh my gosh.
For one single frame. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. And the whole swamp is one tree is very similar to how fungi grow. True, everything's interconnected. And that worked well with explaining the Avatar universe in a way that a kid could understand.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Jinx.
I love it. And then where did it go? I have one last thing to show. There it is. The one that caused me to freak out the most, because it starts, well, it's not really the start of the episode. It's kind of in the beginning of the episode. And at the end is this freaking bird. They aren't supposed to open their mouths like that. To this day, that freaks me out. I get the heebie-jeebies.
Interesting how you just... I'm just like, oh, it's a bird. That was funny. Haha, the bird screaming. Ha 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 ha.
I would kill that
you're
thing and
you're over and you're over here like, it's so creepy.
It is. Also, where did its eyes go? Is that an animation?
I don't know.
All I know is they start the episode with it, and then the swamp like just flings it like what you do with the paper footballs, and just finishing things up like. I don't like that bird. Okay. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about on this episode, Brandi?
It's a good episode. They, it doesn't feel like a filler because it's like pivoted the story where it needed to go. So
exactly. Well, and it builds on Zuko's arc, because it builds in the blue spirit again, and then it also introduces Toph. So I guess it's not really a filler episode. It's just kind of a
introduces Toph without introducing Toph. Like, you still have no idea where they're gonna find her or anything like that, or even really who she is. Like, at this point, like the little girl that Aang sees, like maybe wasn't even like that couldn't have been Toph. Like, it could have been something else that led them to the Earthbending Master, but we obviously know that it is
maybe
Toph,
it was their daughter. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe the flying boar was the Earthbending Master. You don't know. Like,
that would have been epic. I love Toph though, so
yeah, true. So much better. Where'd it go? Rapunzel just sent another tweet. I will share this before we get into our fan theories. Is that the correct tab? There we go. So everything's connected. The Indian pipe ghost plant doesn't make its own food. It sucks nutrients out of the fungi and tree root network. Well, that's kind of creepy, but also cool.
It also looks like that bird that you're scared of.
No! Exit. No more talking to the bird. Like, where did it go? I have a GIF here from when they heard the bird, and this is always my reaction. It's very, very similar. Just, yeah. If someone had that as their ringtone, I would panic. That would be.
Wait, horrifying. Them screaming or the bird screaming?
Of the bird. Like, that would be my reaction to hearing the bird scream.
I don't even know what it was.
Gosh! It was too accurate. And could you imagine if an avatar did fully learn all elements from the animal/moon counterpart? That would be interesting, except for one.
Well, technically, Aang does learn from the main, like from the animal or even the moon. So, like, if Katara basically is Aang's waterbending master. Yeah, he kind of got like the basics from Pakku, but Katara continues on his learning. And Katara, they want, like, there was like this theory that where they wanted Katara to learn waterbending from Yue so that Katara learned from like the original moon or whatever. But Toph learns from the badger moles. And so that's like directly. And then the way that Zuko learns firebending is from the dragons. And so then they were like, well, we would just need like an air bison to teach Aang a couple of airbending moves, which he then says, like, in one episode, he's like, wow, I didn't know that. You know, Appa, maybe we could do a lesson sometimes, buddy. And
true. That, very true. He at least has a few of the animal spirits, or animal teachers there. And apparently Shadowcat's local game store has Avatar action figures, and they have Azula. Ooh. Interesting. Yes, you should buy them all if you had the money. That is a struggle that all of us are familiar with.
Story of my life.
Oh man. But yes, that's pretty much the episode of The Swamp. But we can always expand on episodes by talking about fan theories.
Yes, we do.
And
yes, we do.
Brandi is the queen of theories.
Aww. Wow. So honored to get that title. So
you
I
genuinely are.
I thought that this was a fan theory, but I think it might actually be confirmed. So the blue spirit mask that Zuko wears is actually from the play that Ursa used to take them to on Ember Island called Love Amongst the Dragons. And so that blue spirit mask is actually the dark water spirit. So in that play, the actors wear masks. Yep, and that's why you see the blue spirit mask everywhere. So that's why it was like even on that cart. It's because it's actually from a play from the universe. So yep. So that, I thought that was a fan theory, but I think that would actually be confirmed.
Yeah. Okay, I'm totally down for that, especially since I actually, with my 3D printer now, I can 3D print something like this. So nice. I might just have to make that and hang it up next to my lovely scrolls that I'm rearranging on my wall so they actually look like they're closer to my screen.
Nice.
Brandi's the best. Absolute best. I love them.
But I think that that's actually really, like, that's so cute because if you don't know, this is a spoiler from the comics. I'm not going to spoil too much if you guys haven't read them, but you learn a bit more about Ursa in one of the comics, and that she actually was an actress and was going to be in that play. Yep. So, she wanted to be an actress. She was going to actually be in Love Amongst the Dragons, but some stuff happens, and so I feel like Zuko using that mask is so sweet. Like, is he using it to be a villain? Yes, he is. But oh my gosh, a mama's boy.
Exactly. And she's always like, "Be who you are, Zuko," which we find out later on. And I mean, that is such a core memory, maybe, like going and hanging out with his mom at the theater. Just it adds the comics add a whole new layer. If anyone hasn't read the comics, do it.
But this next one, it's not a full-fledged theory. These are just some thoughts that I have. So the swamp, the tree, like, obviously the swamp is very spiritual, and so I was thinking, what if it's supposed to be almost like a third spirit world portal? So we learn in Korra that the North and South Pole have these spirit portals that get opened up. So I was wondering maybe if the swamp was a third one. And then I really got to thinking about it, and I don't think it's a spirit portal. I think the swamp might actually be the water lion turtle.
Really?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that, like, that tree is on the back of the water lion turtle, and that's why it has such a spiritual connection. And also, depending on what the powers of the lion turtles can do, that's why it brought Aang to the swamp to help him, like, set on that journey. And so when you're watching, there's an episode, I think it's called Beginnings, season 2 of Korra. You get to kind of meet all 4 lion turtles.
Okay.
And so it's kind of quick, but where the water turtle is located in that episode, it's not at the North or South Pole. It's actually somewhere, it looks like, off of the coast of the Earth Kingdom. And if you look at the location of where the swamp is, it's kind of off one of the coasts of the Earth Kingdom. So I think that this might be either the big tree is just on the back of that lion turtle or what. But that's kind of my theory.
So, okay, so I can't find the actual picture of the lion turtle, but I can find something similar. It pretty much looks like this then.
Yeah. And so we actually see in season 3, we see that's where Aang is. Yeah, he gets on one of the backs of, like, the lion turtles and stuff like that. So what would be really interesting, because Aang can't earthbend on the lion turtle, what would be really interesting is to see an earthbender in the swamp and see what they could do. Which I guess Toph. I have to rewatch Legends of Korra and see what she could earthbend.
Earthbending in the swamp.
So yeah, I don't know. That's just one of my theories. There's not a lot to back it up, but and then I think it also kind of would explain, because the way that the swamp people kind of, is that what we call them? The swamp people? That seems the swamp tribe. We'll call them the swamp tribe.
Swamp tribe. Nice.
The way that they are kind of, like, explained, like, why they are there and not at the North or South Pole, is because they're saying that it was like a group of people from either the North or South Pole, probably the South, just kind of migrated there. And I think maybe they were just drawn to the area because waterbenders are very spiritual, and that's kind of how they ended up there.
Nice. I like that. Also, so something that fits in but also doesn't. So in Legend of Korra, Toph does manage to do the whole kick and boom thing.
Okay.
But that is only on a surface level. Notice it's mud. It's not earth. And so technically there could be a turtle underneath, but because of its age, it has accumulated dirt and mud. So still no answers.
I don't know.
Foggy Swamp Tribe. And then, yes, the proper there, too. Okay, I like that. I like that theory.
Yeah, so, but that's all I have for the theories. We're kind of slim.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, this episode just kind of leaves you with a lot of information to dissect, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that works well. Now, I do have some fan art for this one, and it mostly revolves around happy little swamp monsters.
Oh!
This is from Avatar Amino on DeviantArt, and this just makes me happy.
I love him.
He's so stinking cute.
I love him.
Oh my gosh, I want that level of inner peace. Just so happy.
How do they get that much emotion into that mask?
Yeah.
How?
I know. It's so perfect. And then of course we also have this one, which this one's cute. This one's pretty badass. And I think it shows really well the use of the swamp bending. So
here's the thing that I want to see more of the Swamp Tribe. I haven't read all the comics, so maybe they're in the comics. Mm-hmm. They're not in the Kyoshi novels yet. I just want to see more of them because like I said, I really like them. I think they're
well, and they have such a unique bending method.
That's what I was trying to get out.
So it's army. Just
yeah. No, I would like to see more of them. Either bring back Hugh, Do, or Tho. Just.
Well, doesn't Legend of Genji, that fan production, I'm pretty sure they have a character who's from the swamps.
I think they do, so it should be interesting to see what they do there. But I'm just saying, hopefully, Avatar Studios, if you ever hear this, bring back the swamp people, the swamp turtle. I keep on calling them swamp people. Novels. That's probably not right.
I think they'd be fine with it. The swamp people, yeah.
Swamp people.
Make it their own. Well, and that makes me think. Legend of Genji, they just they had their first trailer released today. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, book one trailer.
I saw that it was posted, but I did not watch it.
I have not watched it either. If I can get it to work, do you want to watch it to finish up this episode?
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Make sure that YouTube doesn't ban us. If YouTube bans us, then just have a nice night. Here we go. So I'm going to turn up that volume. And we're going to switch over here. Oh, you need a swamp person in a main avatar group. Exactly.
They really do.
They really do. They would have so much personality.
I'm looking at you, Cora.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay, so here's this one.
Fire. Air. Water. Earth. Following Avatar Korra's death, the world entered a new age of uncertainty and instability. The fate of the Avatar cycle remained a mystery, and light and peace rapidly faded from the world. Rivalries between nations intensified. Human spirit relations deteriorated, and in the shadows, dark powers began to stir. As the world's nations found themselves at the brink of war, a choice was made. Truth was abandoned in the name of harmony, and the Avatar returned.
Ooh. Wait, so that means that is going to start up here April 16th?
Next week, I think, is
wow.
The next Saturday, actually.
Okay. Well then, I'm fascinated by that.
Swamp people. I just want to see a swamp person.
Just one swamp person, like a swamp person goes to the big city kind of thing.
Yes, all of it.
Very nice.
Make them part of the main cast.
I'd be okay with that. But that looks like a fun fan project. I know they've been working really hard on it. They brought in a lot of artists, so hopefully they add in a swamp person and make us all happy. Also, we just hit the 1 hour mark. High five.
Woohoo, yay.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, that is I think that was a great way to finish it up. Wait. Okay. Russell says that's Super HQ fanfics. Yeah, the quality on this is going to be really impressive because they've been working on this for years now.
Mm-hmm.
And just not being a big studio. Wait.
We're waiting.
No, I also love that they have television. There we go. They do one of those coming of age 2000s, We Swap Places movies with a swamp person. Oh.
And I'm not following.
I think they could
we're talking like a Freaky Friday situation where they just like
I guess kind of. Basically, it's like an exchange thing where a swamp person goes to the city and becomes like a fancy waterbender, and a fancy waterbender goes to the swamp.
No, we're talking like reality TLC show. I'm here for it.
A movie, yeah. that would actually be pretty interesting. Like a Avatar, but reality TV within the Avatar universe. Katie gets me. I got you. No, because now they've added television in Genji, so they've got to have reality TV somewhere. I mean, they can't just do Survivor because that'd be too easy.
Yeah.
Trading spaces with Avatar. Oh, I love it. There's so much potential here. I just want Avatar Studios to actually announce an official project.
Well, didn't they announce an official project and it was going to be hold on. Wait.
Was it Kuruk? Or Yang Chen?
No, so they were just saying that Kuruk was going to be in season 1 of the Netflix show, which everybody was up in a tizzy about because they were like,
at least they got the casting right for that show. The story could be crap if it has to be, but the people that they cast actually look and
I think it's gonna divide the fandom. Like people are gonna because people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, they rewrote the canon, and other people are gonna be like, it's like. We're talking like hopefully not levels of like Star Wars hate fandom, but like I did not see this going very well.
Yeah,
I did not see the announcement, but it's something about like I thought a full length movie was announced for like 2026.
Oh snap!
But I could be wrong.
New Avatar movie. Oh, nope, that's Avatar 2. Avatar The Last Airbender?
I could have swore that
no. No, I only see the live action Netflix one. Which, yeah, you're right. It's probably going to divide the fandom pretty decently.
Oh, it's not going to be pretty. Like in my I don't know.
Yeah. The thing is, though, that differentiates it from the Star Wars sequels, writing, concise Avatar writing that follows the tight-knit narrative, like The Swamp, for example. It has so many elements that are so closely together. They're so woven together. If they can do that instead of making it just like a basic, oh, here's an action show, then I think it has a chance of actually swaying a few of the.
Yeah, but like what I'm saying is, so like I think it's been confirmed that Suki's mother will be in the show, and then obviously they're adding Kuruk, and I think they've added a couple of other characters, and so I think that's where people are going to be like, because some people will just want it to be word for word, scene for scene of what the actual series was, and so it's those people that I think can get really toxic. And then like you could bring in somebody else who really likes the show and, you know, thinks that it expands. And I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
Avatar right now, the Avatar fan base is very good. We're very wholesome and I love it. And I am kind of afraid that it's gonna start getting toxic, especially like the more that it grows.
Yes, because it adds more divisiveness between people. There's only 2 things of content, and we all agree one of them doesn't exist. So
precisely, and so I think that this Netflix series, plus it's only 8 episodes, which is not a lot at all.
That's even less than the actual show.
Well, it's 8
1
hour length, so it's actually the same amount of time actually of the series, but I think they've added a lot more characters. And so it should just be interesting. Like, I think that I'm more interested to see how the fandom reacts to the series than like the actual series, because I'm trying to keep like my own hopes like low so that, you know, it doesn't get crushed because I've been there before.
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm not. I don't have high hopes. I like, and that's
That's a good thing, honestly, because everyone was hyped for the Avatar movie, and then it was trash. So if everyone goes in thinking, oh, this is just going to be the Avatar movie, there is no bar lower anywhere on Earth than the Avatar live-action movie. So if you have low expectations, it'll be better, hopefully. And one more thing, because Rapunzel sent this again. Where'd it go? Oh, nope, that's wrong. There it is. Okay, so let me pull up the actual page because I am terrible at this. Cultures of Avatar, The Last Airbender. This is really interesting, and I'm hoping if you guys are interested, Rapunzel tweeted this, can look this up. There's cultural anatomy of the swamp episode, and it goes through and it compares like what was shown and how it matches up, and it's really fascinating. So yeah, go check that out if you haven't already. Thank you, Rapunzel, for all the fun added things. Always bringing in the extra little salamanders and context and everything. It's fantastic. Oh goodness. All right, is there anything else that we haven't talked about?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, that concludes our monthly episode.
April 28th, guys. We're gonna make it happen.
April 28th. I'm gonna make sure.
I will make it happen, even if I have to drive over to Sioux City myself and stick Katie in front of a computer.
Yeah, I will be down for that. And I will get the unfried dough. I don't know why. I love the way he says that in the episode. It's so iconic. But yeah, everyone plan for April 28th, Avatar Day, and it'll be amazing. And we'll be back then to celebrate. Woo-hoo. So thank you, Brandi. Thank you, everyone in the chat. We had Shadowcat, we had Bree, we had Rapunzel. I'm sure we had a couple other people who popped in who just didn't comment. But regardless, good to see you guys. And we'll be back for Avatar Day. Bye. Almost pressed the leave out studio button again. Okay, bye.